good morning. Happy Wednesday, the day before Thanksgiving. I'm sure you probably have a lot on your plate. Maybe you're traveling today. Maybe you're just getting all the final preparations ready. Whatever it is, thanks for spending these few minutes with me. Naturally, I've got my cup of coffee here. Wanted to just be real quick because I know there's a lot going on this day before the holiday. You have a lot to do, I'm sure. But as we have for the last several weeks, we've been talking about this idea of Thanksgiving, how it shouldn't just be a one day a year thing, but it should be an everyday reality, a heart attitude toward God. We've talked for the last 3 Wednesdays about that, whether it was in Colossians, where we looked at Colossians 3:15, 16, and 17. All of those verses showing thankfulness or an attitude of thanksgiving as an indicator of the health of our relationship with God. We looked at 1 Thessalonians, those 3 quick commandments that come in a row. Pray without ceasing, give thanks always, and in everything give thanks. Right there, 15 and 16, for this is God's will concerning you, and how important that was. We looked last week at Luke 17, the 10 lepers that Jesus healed, but only one came back to give his thanks to God. And so I thought I'd just spend a few minutes today reading from the Psalms. There's so much in the Psalms. This would have been, you call it sort of the hymn book of Israel. Maybe that's a one way to look at it, but certainly informed their worship. Several of these Psalms, you are not surprised, I'm sure, to learn, have a theme of thanksgiving. One I learned a long time ago, Psalm 100, verse 4, enter his gates with thanksgiving in your heart and enter his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name, for the Lord is good. His love endures forever, and his faithfulness continues throughout all generations. Enter his gates with thanksgiving and come into his presence. It's something about that idea of whenever we have the privilege, the New Testament tells us we can approach the throne of grace with confidence, but this tells us we should enter the gates before the throne of God with thanksgiving as well. Why would we be thankful? Because of what Jesus has done that gives us the confidence to come before him. A couple chapters later, Psalm 126. Listen to this. It's interesting how this unfolds. When the Lord restored the fortunes of Zion, we were like those who dream. Our mouths were filled with laughter, our tongues with songs of joy. Then it was said among the nations, the Lord has done great things for them. The Lord has done great things for us, and we are filled with joy. That idea we talked about, rejoice in the Lord from Philippians, that returning to the source of your joy. Here they see among Israel God's great blessing of them, and so they just come back and are grateful, thankful, and joyful because of God's presence, God's deliverance. Psalm 136. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. And this is an interesting one. This might have been what we might call an antiphonal psalm, where you have a phrase that's repeated over and over as the answer that the people would give to the worship leader in any particular time that this would have been read or used in their worship. And the refrain or the phrase that the people would respond, his love endures forever. So you can read, this whole psalm, all 26 verses are a statement of God's goodness and grace, and then the declaration that his love endures forever. And notice the first 3 verses. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. His love endures forever. Give thanks to the God of gods, for his love endures forever. Give thanks to the Lord of lords. His love endures forever. I like that first one especially. Give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. Denise says when she works with the kids, if there's one lesson she hopes they learn throughout their time in kids ministry, is that God is good. That's bedrock, foundational. Circumstances of life may not always be good. The things we're going through may not be good. We may feel like we're in a very bad way, and God may seem far away, but that doesn't change the central aspect of his character. God is good. So give thanks to the Lord, for he is good. We could read Psalm after psalm after psalm. I highlighted Isaiah chapter 12. Let me just turn over there real quick because this has some cool things in it. In that day you will say, Isaiah the prophet writes, I will praise you, Lord, although you were angry with me, your anger has turned away and you have comforted me. Surely God is my salvation. I will trust and not be afraid. The Lord himself is my strength and my defense. He has become my salvation. With joy you will draw near. With joy you will draw, water from the wells of salvation. In that day you will say, here it is, give praise, give thanks to the Lord, proclaim his name. Make known among the nations what he has done, and proclaim that his name is exalted. Sing to the Lord, for he has done glorious things. Let this be known to all the world. Throughout the Old Testament scriptures, the Hebrew Bible, the people of God are reminded to be thankful, to be thankful, to be thankful. And we've looked at 3 New Testament passages over the last 3 weeks where thanksgiving formed that key aspect. One last verse, and then I'm going to let you go. Like I said, I'm sure it's a busy day for a lot of you. James chapter 1, verse 17. Back to the New Testament. The brother of Jesus in the book of James would tell us this interesting truth that every good and perfect gift, let me get to it, so James 1:17, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of the heavenly lights, who does not change like shifting shadows. You know, over the next day, you're going to hopefully gather with friends, family, those you love, and you're going to have a meal together and celebrate and have a good time. But don't forget that every good and perfect gift we have comes from God, and he is worthy to receive not just all the glory, for he is worthy, but he is worthy to receive all of our thanks. So I hope this Thanksgiving week and tomorrow on Thanksgiving Day, it'll just be an overflow and a continuation of a life that is marked by thankfulness and gratitude to God, certainly for the gift of salvation, but for all of the other things, more than we could possibly deserve, that he consistently provides to us. God is good. His love endures forever. Those are my thoughts for you this day. I hope you have a very happy Thanksgiving Day. Hope you enjoyed the day. Hope you enjoy your meal, and hope you spend some time giving thanks to the God who gives us every good and perfect thing. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.